Hello YouTube and welcome to the Dusty Way. Lucky enough to have both of these bikes, the CRF300L and brand new, at least for me, and in Portugal, KTM 390 Enduro R. So, because I think they occupy the same space, they fight for the same segment, I thought I could do, a video explaining what I think about them, where I think this one may be a better bike and where I think that one is a superior bike. I wanted to give you an update on the oil leak. My previous video I wanted to do, the video that I'm doing now is what I wanted to do, and I basically, as I said, I found the bike leaking oil overnight after a ride, and I had to take it to the dealer. So it came from the dealer, and they found a breather pipe that was crushed under the fuel tank. So that explains that it would have been, building too much pressure, and that pressure then would cause the oil leak. They said it was fixed. I went for a ride afterwards. The road it just harder than I had before, and I didn't have any more problems, so no more oil leaks. Fingers crossed that's completely solved. I asked my friend to go ride this bike, compare it with his CRF300L, let me know his thoughts without giving him, a lot of inputs on how I felt about the bike. So we swap bikes. I go into his CRF, he goes into these, and 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, 3 minutes later, he stops and he says, "Whoa, this is unrideable. I can't ride this thing. It cuts off. It's always cutting off." So basically, he was riding, and the engine cuts off. I already experienced issues with the side stand, so I obviously immediately knew what was causing that. But it was not as big of an issue for me, but clearly it was for him. So it was so bad that he rode about bike for like 3, 4, 5 minutes. We had to stop and we had to zip tie the side stand. We had to zip tie it so he could ride it. Maybe he has, his boots are bigger than mine. The position of his feet is different. I don't know, but it was a big issue. Now, for me, I have had that issue happening twice now. One of them when I was riding a very technical single track, and I felt touching the side stand with my boot, so clearly it was me. And I've had it the second time it happened to me. I was riding on, just a fast dirt road. I was riding fast. There's a couple of unexpected bumps, so obviously it shakes the bike a lot, and I felt it cutting down the power, which I think was just with the movement of the bike. The side stand may have moved too much, and it cuts off power. It's just a moment. Obviously the bike doesn't completely stop, but it cuts the power for a little bit. And to me that's a bit worrying, and I want to show you why I think this is a bit of a problem. So I want to show you, when does the sensor trigger the kill switch, basically. So I'm gonna put it in neutral. It's neutral. I'm gonna turn the bike on. And now I'm gonna put it in gear as if you would be riding. And now just notice how little movement to trigger the sensor. You see, just this little bit, and the sensor killed the bike. Now, as you can see, obviously, in this kind of bike, the side stand is not attached with any rubber or anything like that, unless you get on an enduro bike. So this is moving, obviously. When you hit the bump, this is gonna flex a little bit. There's no way around that. And it will kill the bike eventually. The same with your boot. If your boot touches here, even though it's slightly, this little bit of movement kills the bike, and to me that is not good. Now if we would compare it with the Honda, it does let the side stand extend almost past the halfway point until the sensor kicks in. Or I mean, I have more bikes and I can try the same on the other ones, and the same happens. The sensor doesn't kill the bike with so little movement on the side stand. So overall, I would choose that bike if I want to ride more technical terrain, more challenging trails in terms of, single track woods kind of riding. If I want to go over, some rocks, some more tricky climbs, basically everywhere where you are riding very slowly, I would hands down choose that bike. Or again, it goes a little bit with your experience. If you are a beginner, not very experienced rider, again, I think that's an easier bike to get started riding off-road. I would choose this bike if I'm doing faster terrain, open trails, kind of fast roads, gravel, dirt, and where riding at slow speeds is not that common. So if I want a bike like that, then I think this fits this is a better option. Suspensions are better definitely if you are riding aggressively. I'm comparing stock to stock. The power and mid to high revs is much better on these, so you will notice it. If you're riding more road as well, more of a 50-50 as well, I think this is a good choice. But those are the scenarios where I would choose this. Everywhere else, I would still choose that bike over this one. I had really high expectations, and I hoped it would just be better on slower kind of riding than it is. And I think it's a shame. Maybe some aftermarket fuel mappings, different exhaust, maybe you can change that behavior, different gears. Maybe you can change it slightly to make it a more interesting bike to ride on, technical terrain. But as it comes stock, to me, it is a little bit disappointing in there. So yeah, I mean, still looking forward to ride it, and I do have a lot of tracks here that fit this bike perfectly, open, fast tracks. But as of today, I'm a bit disappointed. And hope you enjoyed the video. There will be a lot more content on this bike and that bike and even others. And if you liked, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.